And hello and welcome to another Xterra video where I work on my truck. Sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I'm not. And on today's video I'm gonna be working on some upgrades for my truck again. Something that I'm very excited about. Approximately last year I changed my radiator from my stock radiator to Alloyworks radiator. This is basically the safest option and maybe the cheapest. Maybe not the cheapest, but it's a safe, cheap, budget friendly, good way to go to replace the radiator to eliminate any issue with the milkshake of death when the transmission fluid mixes with the antifreeze and then your transmission pretty much fried. So I had that radiator for about a year. It was working fine, but I always wanted to have something else in there. And after looking around, and actually first time I saw this radiator, I did not even know about this company until I saw it on my friend's truck. He has a full aluminum 3-row radiator. So that's what I got, guys. I couldn't help myself. I already opened the box before. I just was so excited. So look at this. It's a fully aluminum, no plastic parts anywhere. Comes with even a cup. That's pretty cool. Full aluminum 3-row radiator. Cannot wait to put it in and test it to see what the temperature difference gonna be. I did some testing with this radiator. I hook up my OBD readers to monitor the temperature. Cannot wait to put this one in and do it all over again and see, compare the difference in temperature. So now let's take it out, take a look at it, and then I'm gonna start disassembling everything in my truck. All right, so let's take this stuff out and let's pull this out carefully. Just look at this, guys. It's a fully aluminum radiator, welded all the way around. Just look at that radiator. Doesn't it look nice? I'm very excited to put it in. Like I said, I had no idea about this company before, but they actually have a lot of different radiators for different makes and models. I'm gonna include the link in the description. And actually I contacted the company and they provided a discount code. So anyone watching this and subscribed to the channel can go click the link and use discount code, and you guys can get it with a hopefully a good discount. So the radiator looks pretty good. I checked, it doesn't seem to have any damage. Hopefully nothing is damaged, of course, but I don't know if the camera will show it or not, but I'm gonna attach the picture. If you look close enough in there, you will see that it has 3 rows. So that's pretty cool. So this company is Alloyworks. They have all kind of radiators, different types of trucks, cars and models, and they also have electric fans and some other stuff. So if you're in the market for something, just check them out. So now I'm gonna start disassembling my truck, draining the fluid, removing my old radiator, and it's gonna be a time to put new one in. So first I'm gonna remove my battery. It's gonna be better, easier to remove the radiator. Gonna remove these 4 clips so we can pull this back, and remove 2 bolts here and here so we can remove this bracket. And then I'm gonna take my air intake out. Gonna drain the fluid and we can start unbolting the radiator and removing the hose. All right, and they're out. So now this can be pushed back. There you go. And now we have access to this bolt and to this bolt. Now we're gonna remove these 2 clamps and this one. Now we're gonna remove these 2 10mm bolts, and then we have 2 more 10mm underneath. We can remove this hose. And this bolt is out. So now we can take this apart and take this out. There you go. So now I'm gonna remove my battery. And let's take it out completely. So now I just have to remove my skid plate so I have a better access to all the hoses down there and drain the fluid. Once I drain the fluid, we can disassemble all of this and pull this out. So now it's just a big flat screwdriver. We're gonna unscrew this plug over here and drain all the antifreeze out. There we go. Now we can open this so it drains better. Now just with channel locks we can undo the top hose clamp and the hose is out, and we can remove the overflow tank hose. And let's set this on the side. Now we can remove the 2 bolts over here that hold in a fan shroud and remove that as well with a 10mm ratchet. Now we can unclip this connection over here for the fan, remove the wire from over here as well. There we go. And this is out as well. Now before we remove the shroud, we need to unclip this hose from over here and from over here. Now because I already don't have the lower part, I removed it when I did the body lift, so now the shroud should come up easy. Now there is another 10mm bolt over here. We're gonna remove that. That way we can remove the fan, the electric fan, and then we can remove the shroud. It's easier to do it that way. And then to put it back, first we're gonna put the shroud and then we're gonna slide the fan in. So let's pull the fan out first. Maybe eventually I can replace the fan as well, because I have only one fan. Maybe eventually I can get something better. And now let's pull the shroud out. Now we just have these two brackets to remove, and this bolt over here, and a bolt over here holding the radiator to the condenser, and we can pull the radiator out. So once again with a 10mm, and this is 10mm as well. Now because we have a transmission fluid going through the radiator getting cooled off, we have to disconnect this hose and this hose. I'm gonna try to plug them off so no transmission fluid comes out, and then we're ready to pull out the radiator. And this end I'm just gonna try to plug it in with this simple plug. Just what's left is to disconnect the lower hose. Let's move the bucket over here because it's gonna drain from over here as well. So now we can separate the radiator from the condensator, and let's take it out carefully. All right, it's out. Okay, the radiator is out, and this is our brand new radiator. So let's just take a closer look at them and the differences, and then I'm gonna start reinstalling the new radiator. But this is basically just a reverse procedure, so just put everything back together, connect all the hoses, add the antifreeze, bleed the system, and it's done. Then I'm gonna run some tests. But for now, let's look at it closer. So this is our Alloyworks radiator, and this is our brand new by Alloyworks 3-row fully aluminum radiator. And if you look at them, just look at this one and look at this one. This is much wider, so we should get more coolant performance. And as you can see, it's fully welded over here and over here. And this one, it's a plastic part on top and on the bottom, and in a lot of cases this starts leaking. And a matter of fact, I don't know, actually now that I look closer, I don't know why I have a green looking residue over here in the corner. I have nothing over here, but I have some green residue over here in the corner. So now I'm concerned if this was leaking, because to be honest, I had to add antifreeze at one point a little bit, not whole a lot, but I did had to add it, and I was concerned why. But now that I look at this, who knows, maybe it was evaporating through here. Wow, surprised. I'm kind of a little bit surprised. And actually, as I'm working on my truck right now, replacing my radiator, my friend and fellow YouTuber Maximum DIY Garage, he's replacing his radiator because his radiator started to leak. He's replacing his radiator for Alloyworks radiator. He had a stock radiator and it started leaking. I'm also gonna leave his link to his channels in description, so just go guys, check him out. He makes a lot of nice videos about Xterra and some other cars as well, so if you like cars, go check him out. Now the only thing, these brackets, I had to open them up because the radiator is wider, so it can fit over these. But other than that, so far everything looks okay. And as you can see, I somewhat tried to clean it, and I actually tried to refurbish these brackets. Of course you could go and buy new ones, but they're like $150 for two of them. All I did, just sand it off and paint sprayed it. So it's still good, it's still good. All right, and the brackets are in place. So now just carefully gonna put it there in place and start securing it. All right, and whenever you put the radiator back, just take your time and be careful with it and with all the stuff that might be in the way. And just like that, carefully work your way and try to bring it where it's supposed to be. Alright, after a little bit of a wiggle, the new radiator is in. So now it's time to put the fan and a shroud in. So first we're gonna slide the shroud inside, and now I'm gonna slide the fan inside. So now let's get our overflow hose in place. Now let's connect our top hose. Alright, and that is in place as well. Let's not forget to connect our cable for the fan. Let's put the airbox back in place. And now we can mount the air intake as well. Now before connecting the oil cooler lines, I would recommend to put some RTV on those threads and tighten this on both ends, just to be on the safe side.
Flashback.
And as I told you guys, don't rush to assemble everything and start it up. As you can see, I have a little leak. From there, one of the transmission lines I forgot to put a clamp on, so as soon as I started, it leaked a little bit, but no big deal. I shut it off, put a clamp back in place, and now we're bleeding the air out. Now another modification that I had to do, because of this cap and because of this filler neck is higher than the other radiators, there is multiple ways to modify this. Some people lower the radiator or they change the cap maybe, because without this cap the radiator closes fine, but you still need a cap here anyway. So what I did, I just slightly hammered that part over there so it clears it. The hood is still fine, there is nothing wrong with it. So just hammered this and painted this, so now the hood closes fine. Alright guys, in the installation of our brand new fully aluminum 3-row radiator is done. The system is clear of air and all the fluids have been topped off, so everything is good now. And I've been running the truck already for quite some time. I drove around it, I did some tests to keep an eye on the temperature, and on average I got between 10 to 15 degrees cooler performance right now. The weather is actually about the same as the day I was testing my previous radiator, so that's somewhat the same. I left the truck running, idling for an hour again. I drove around, I drove on a highway. On a highway it actually performed even better than my Alloyworks radiator. The temperature never passed 200 degrees unlike my Alloyworks, so I think that's a big success. And there is nothing dripping or leaking anywhere, so that's pretty good. Yes, there is certain modification needs to be done in order to fit it, because it's slightly bigger, but nothing major. Anybody can do it, I'm pretty sure. So I'm very happy that I finally have this good fully aluminum radiator. So hopefully it's gonna last me a long time. It's not gonna break, not gonna leak or anything, but that should be good. As always, I'm gonna leave all the links in the description, guys. I'm gonna leave the link to the website and to the radiator itself. It might be out of stock, so it might not be on the website, but I'm gonna always update it. Just keep an eye on it, and I'm also gonna leave the discount code, so hopefully that's gonna help you out, guys, as well. So on this note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you might find it helpful, and as always, until next time, everybody, bye.